want to ask you a question about your life.
Mhm.
One of the things that makes you so fascinating, Ilan Pappé, to many people is that, like Noam Chomsky or Norman Finkelstein, you are a Jewish Israeli who is outspokenly anti-Zionist, in spite of what you've described as an initiative to 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 have Jews and Jewish people be supportive of Israel and Zionism. So help me understand your life and when you, I'm assuming, transition from being pro-Israel to, I guess, for lack of a better word, anti-Israel.
Mhm. Yes, it was a journey. It didn't happen in one day. There was not an epiphany. There was a moment of awakening. It was a process, and I think it was informed by a few things. One is the fact that I really love history, and from a very early age, I wanted to be a professional historian, and much of what I bring to the fore as rethinking about what Zionism is, what should be done in the future, is based on my experience as a professional historian, because I deal more extensively and intensively with history than other people do, because that's my profession, and I'm particularly interested in the history of my own country. So this is an occupation for more than 50 years, and that's for me. One input of that historical inquisition or inquest, if you want, it is changing my views about what is Israel, what is Zionism, who are the Palestinians, and so on. The second one is I spent quite a long periods in my studies outside of Israel. And I think you see things from the outside that sometimes you cannot see from the inside. And at the particular period in which I think the transformation has begun was during the Israeli invasion of Lebanon in 1982, when I was in England, in Oxford. And I think I saw from the outside the war in Lebanon in a way that would have been difficult for me to see from the inside had I been in Israel at that time. And thirdly, I think that Haifa, the city I was born in, is a bit different from the rest of the cities in Israel. It's probably the only city in Israel where you really have at least some layers of coexistence. I mean, a genuine coexistence, where people have joined businesses, go together to schools, have a much more daily contact with each other, know each other much better to fall into the images that the political elites would like them to have. It's a more desegregated city than the others. And I think it also contributed to a willingness to say, I want to hear the other side. I want to hear what they're saying. Maybe there's some truth in what they play, and so on. So I think all of this together creates a point of view where somewhere in it you cross a river and you say, I'm at peace with myself. I think I know enough and I'm convinced enough that I'm in the right way, even if others think otherwise.
Less than 2 months ago, you wrote an article in The Guardian titled, I was detained at a U.S. airport and asked about Israel and Gaza for 2 hours. So tell us what happened there.
Yeah, it was very weird. And I still don't have the full picture, although there is a senator, I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but he promised me to use his position on the Foreign Affairs Committee, something to find out, because we would like to know why. Two agents from the Home Security, I think it's called, what is it called? Homeland Security, approached me and took me to a side room. And they were very polite, I should say. They were not rude. And asked me what I think were bizarre questions, such as, do I think that the war in Gaza is genocide? What do I think about the slogan, Palestine should be free from the river to the sea? These kinds of questions, which, by the way, I was quite reluctant to fully answer. And I said that I'm giving a lecture to and invited to hear my views in full, if they want to. I think that part went away quite quickly, but it happened. Then they took my phone for a long period. And then they asked me, whom do I know among the Arab community in Michigan, and then the Arab community in general in the United States. Um, and then they let me wait alone for a very long time, came back and said, you can go. And when I asked, can you explain to me why? It was a bit of an ordeal. I'm 70 years old, and I was after an 8 hours flight in economy from London to Detroit. I was very tired. It was late at night. They didn't answer the question. I asked them why. I said, it's a national security issue.
Wow. Ilan Pappé, thank you so much for the time today. I'm going to end the recording, and then if you and I could spend 2 minutes
Yeah,
just
def-
wrap